something's shifting and fast. International travelers are quietly turning their backs on the U.S., and the impact is hitting harder than most realize. From Florida's deserted beaches to Vegas lights dimming early, the global tourism boycott is no longer a rumor, it's reality. So the big question is, which state is the next to disappear from travelers' bucket lists? Number 10. Florida. The Sunshine State is starting to resemble more of a ghost town than a tourist hotspot, when even Canadians, longtime lovers of Florida's beaches and theme parks, begin saying, maybe not this year, you know something's wrong. In 2023, over 3.3 million Canadians poured into Florida, spending billions on vacations filled with sun, cruises, and Disney magic. Fast forward to now, and bookings have plummeted by more than 70% in just a few months. So what changed? A mix of politics, rising costs, and public image. With controversial legislation grabbing international attention, harsh immigration policies, and hotel rates soaring, many travelers are simply opting out, choosing destinations that feel more welcoming. Local businesses are sounding the alarm. Theme parks are throwing out deep discounts. Resorts are dropping extra charges, and restaurants are suddenly rolling out the red carpet to win back guests. The question on every hotel manager's mind: where is everyone? Florida isn't just facing an economic slump, it's dealing with a trust crisis. And if this continues, palm trees alone won't be enough to bring the crowds back. Number 9. California. Once the land of Hollywood glamour and sun-kissed beaches, California is now facing a tourism crisis. In 2025, the Golden State is witnessing a sharp drop in international visitors, particularly from Canada and Europe, who are now choosing to vacation elsewhere. The numbers don't lie. LAX reported a staggering 28% decline in overseas arrivals this year alone. What's turning people away? A toxic mix of soaring prices, ongoing political unrest, and growing safety concerns. Tourists dreaming of movie stars and palm-lined boulevards are instead met with sprawling homeless encampments, vandalized attractions, and traffic so gridlocked it makes New York feel calm. And yes, a $22 smoothie on Venice Beach isn't satire, it's reality. With cheaper, safer, and more relaxing alternatives like Portugal and Croatia gaining popularity, California is starting to lose its shine. The glitz is fading, and for many travelers, the state now feels more stressful than spectacular. Could Hollywood be heading toward its biggest flop yet? Stick around. What's coming next might surprise you even more. Number 8. Nevada. Once the ultimate destination for flashing lights, all-night parties, and jackpot dreams, Nevada is starting to lose its winning streak. In 2025, this legendary playground is seeing the odds stack against it, fast. International visitors, especially from the UK and Canada, are backing out in droves. Las Vegas, once a top 3 hotspot for global tourism, is now watching convention bookings plummet, casino floors empty out, and hotel rates quietly drop just to keep rooms from sitting vacant. So what changed? Skyrocketing expenses, rising international tensions, and a global boycott that's gone from background noise to front-page news. What used to be a thrill-seeker's paradise now feels like a risky bet, the real gamble. Counting on tourism in a place where trust is fading and the excitement feels forced. Here's a quick one. What do Vegas and your ex have in common? Both promised a wild time and left you broke. Before we roll the dice on the next surprising state, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video, because the wild ride is far from over. Number 7. New York. It might sound unthinkable to cancel one of the most iconic cities on Earth, home to towering skyscrapers, Broadway lights, Times Square buzz, and the Statue of Liberty. But here we are in 2025, and more tourists are saying, no thanks. What was once a must-visit dream for millions is quickly turning into a spot many are deliberately avoiding. The data tells the story. In 2023, New York welcomed over 66 million visitors. But by early 2025, international arrivals have dropped by nearly 25%, a plunge costing the city billions in lost tourism dollars. Hotels are struggling to fill rooms. Broadway is slashing ticket prices last minute, and upscale restaurants are now chasing influencers for free publicity. Why the cold shoulder? Because the dream sold in glossy ads doesn't match what visitors are experiencing. Complaints are piling up: constant noise, safety concerns, overcrowded subway lines, rude customer service, and prices that would make even a Swiss banker wince. Imagine paying $7 for a bottle of water in Central Park. Most tourists just laugh and then leave. Even Canadians, who once flocked to the city for shopping and theater, are spending their travel money elsewhere. The impact is visible. Luxury stores on Fifth Avenue are reporting weak sales. Tour guides are picking up fewer gigs. And a city once known for its energy is now pulsing with anxiety. Here's a quick one. What's faster? New York traffic or tourists fleeing after seeing hotel rates? Exactly. And it's not just international visitors. American travelers are increasingly looking to places like Nashville, Charleston, or even Mexico City, where they're finding culture, charm, and affordability all in one. So is New York losing its edge? Not entirely, but the warning signs are real. And if the current trends continue, the Empire State might soon be remembered not for its buzz, but for how quickly the crowds disappeared. Number 6. Texas. What happens when the state known for bold dreams, 10-gallon hats, and world-famous hospitality starts seeing its visitor numbers collapse? You get one of the most unexpected tourism declines of 2025, and the financial fallout is real. Texas, once a southern powerhouse for international travel, is suddenly watching its global appeal vanish like smoke off a barbecue grill. In the past, tourists couldn't get enough. Cowboy culture, tech innovation, rodeos, brisket festivals, and that classic southern charm made Texas a magnet for travelers from Canada, Europe, and Latin America. In 2023, international visitors spent over $400 million across the state. Fast forward to 2025, that number's in free fall. Canadian trips are down almost 70%, and European travel agencies are steering their clients elsewhere. The reason? It's more than just travel trends. Texas has become a hotbed of political controversy. From strict immigration policies to globally criticized legislation, international visitors are saying they no longer feel welcome or safe. And this isn't just hitting weekend travelers. Conferences, sports tournaments, and major expos are quietly scrapping Texas from their calendars, taking millions in expected revenue with them. Here's a quick laugh. What's disappearing faster than Texas tourists? Parking spots at a Friday night football game. But lately, even the bleachers are half full. While state officials downplay the backlash, local businesses are sounding the alarm. Hotels in Dallas are offering deep discounts just to fill rooms. Austin's iconic music venues are struggling to book international talent. Even Houston's sprawling malls are reporting sharp drops in foreign shoppers. And when international wallets go quiet, the echo is loud. So here's the real question. Is everything bigger in Texas, or just the backlash? Number 5. Michigan. What happens when a state known for its shimmering lakes, historic lighthouses, and auto legacy gets the cold shoulder from its most loyal visitors? You get a tourism downturn so sharp it's making small-town mayors break a sweat in their favorite flannel. In 2025, Michigan, once a weekend favorite for Canadian travelers, is watching its border towns empty out. Just 2 years ago, highways near Windsor and Saltstead, Murray were packed with cars heading south for shopping sprees, sports games, and some warm Midwestern hospitality. Now, border traffic has dropped over 30%, and hotel bookings in destinations like Traverse City have hit a major slump. So, what went wrong? A growing feeling among Canadian and European tourists that they're no longer welcome. With harsh political rhetoric, tighter border restrictions, and a rise in anti-immigrant messaging, many travelers are choosing to stay home or head elsewhere. Add to that spiking costs for hotels, car rentals, and even casual meals, and people are asking, why go through the hassle when we can stay in Canada and relax with maple syrup and manners? But this goes far beyond weekend getaways. Michigan's economy thrives on cross-border commerce, outlet shopping, hockey matchups, music festivals, art shows, you name it. When Canadians stop showing up, the financial impact cuts deep. In 2023, Visitors from Canada spent around $1.4 billion in Michigan. This year, economists expect losses nearing $600 million. That's not a small dip. That's a straight drop. Here's a quick one. What's the difference between a Michigan beach town and a haunted house? At least the haunted house still gets visitors. Now, desperate towns are scrambling, launching last-minute ad campaigns, cutting seasonal worker hours, and tossing out absurd ferry and kayak deals like buy one, get 3 free. So the real question is this just a temporary chill, or is Michigan facing a permanent frost in international tourism? Number 4. Maine. With its crisp coastal breeze, picture-perfect lighthouses, and lobster rolls so fresh they'd practically introduce themselves, Maine has long been a summertime haven for Canadian tourists. Especially for folks from Quebec, it was tradition. Old Orchard Beach felt more like a French-speaking town every July. But in 2025, the familiar flow of northern neighbors is drying up fast. Just 2 years ago, the roads were packed with Quebec license plates, beachfront motels were booked solid, and souvenir shops were making the killing. Now, hotel cancellations are piling up, boardwalk businesses are closing early, or for good, and the crowds are nowhere to be found. So what changed? Not the scenery, not the seafood. It's the atmosphere. More and more Canadians say they feel out of place. From tense border crossings to political rhetoric that hits close to home, the message, intentional or not, is being received. You're not welcome. One Canadian blogger put it bluntly, "I adore the coast, but I won't vacation where I don't feel respected." Let's break it down. In 2023, nearly 2 million Canadians visited Maine, spending over $400 million. By mid-2025, those visits are down over 60%, with projected revenue losses nearing $250 million. That's not a slowdown, it's a shutdown. Even the lobster industry is feeling the pinch, with fewer tourists, fewer boat tours, and fewer customers lining up at dockside seafood joints. Here's a quick one. What do you call a lobster roll without tourists? A soggy sandwich with separation anxiety. And it's not just Canada pulling back. European travelers are skipping Maine entirely, choosing destinations like Iceland or Scotland, where the coastal views come with warmer welcomes and far less political noise. The question now is clear. Can Maine's natural charm and small-town peace compete with friendlier, more culturally open alternatives? Or is the state's tourism crown starting to slip for good? Before we reveal the next state caught in the tourism freefall, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video. Because these global shifts are picking up faster than the Atlantic tide. Number 3. Arizona. Majestic red rock formations, endless desert skies, and sunsets that belong on postcards. Arizona should be booming. But in 2025, it's seeing a very different kind of heat. International tourists are skipping this once-coveted destination, and the impact is scorching both local businesses and the state economy. What happened? Just 2 years ago, Arizona was a global favorite. Europeans came for its national parks. Canadians escaped the cold for desert warmth, and social media feeds were flooded with shots of Antelope Canyon and Monument Valley. Fast forward to now. International tourism is down nearly 40%, and some global tour operators have stopped offering Arizona trips altogether. Why the sudden drop? Many foreign travelers say the political climate is the deal breaker. Harsh immigration policies, strict border protocols, and an unwelcoming tone have left them feeling less like guests and more like suspects. Add soaring prices for airfare, accommodations, and national park passes, and the once epic desert getaway doesn't seem worth it anymore. Let's talk money. In 2023, international tourists contributed nearly $1.1 billion to Arizona's economy. In 2025, that number could fall short by $400 million, a loss that's shaking small towns and big resorts alike. Tourist hotspots like Sedona and Flagstaff are feeling the chill. Once-packed hiking trails are now quiet, trinket shops are slashing prices, and tour guides are scrambling to fill empty slots. Quick joke. What's hotter than Arizona in July? State officials trying to explain the missing tourism revenue to furious business owners. Even the Grand Canyon, still one of the world's top wonders, is showing signs of strain. International visitors once made up nearly half its foot traffic. Now, shuttle routes are being reduced, ranger tours are scaled back, and five-star resorts are offering deep discounts through, you guessed it, Groupon. So here's the big question. Can Arizona's natural beauty keep pulling visitors in when global goodwill is drying up? Or is the state's world-class landscape being overshadowed by its political headlines? Stick around. What's next might just redefine the American travel map. Number 2. Georgia. Sweet tea, soulful music, rich history, and once an international spotlight that shined bright. But in 2025, Georgia's global glow is fading fast, and the fall-off isn't pretty. What was once a magnet for cultural explorers, movie fans, and culinary travelers is now becoming a red flag destination on the global travel map. Atlanta, Georgia's vibrant centerpiece, used to welcome millions of foreign visitors annually. From its deep hip-hop roots to iconic film locations and legendary civil rights landmarks, it had global appeal. But this year, international arrivals have dropped by a stunning 35%, and local tourism officials are hitting the panic button. So, what's scaring visitors away? A dangerous mix of political upheaval, controversial voting laws that drew international condemnation, and high-profile crime stories that rattled overseas audiences. When major travel websites in Europe start tagging Georgia as proceed with caution, it's more than bad publicity. It's a full-blown tourism crisis. Let's talk losses. In 2023, international travelers spent over $1.6 billion in the state. By 2025, that figure is expected to fall short by nearly $500 million. From Savannah's boutique inns to Atlanta's top-tier restaurants, the ripple effect is crushing local economies. Here's a joke for you. What's slower than Atlanta's I-285 during rush hour? The comeback of tourists who've already booked trips to friendlier places with fewer headlines. Even the state's booming film tourism is losing steam. Fans who used to cross oceans to see Marvel sets and movie landmarks are now opting for Canada and the UK, where the vibe is safer and the welcome warmer. And here's the real heartbreak. Small businesses, especially in historically black neighborhoods that thrived on cultural tourism, are suffering the most. Southern charm can only go so far if no one's showing up to experience it. So here's the big question. Can Georgia reclaim its place on the world's travel list, or has it already missed its cue? Number 1. Washington. Misty mornings, tech giants on every corner, and coffee strong enough to revive the dead. Washington State used to be a crown jewel on the international travel circuit. But in 2025, the buzz is gone, and in its place, a deafening silence. Tourists aren't just skipping Seattle, they're actively boycotting it. Airports are seeing lighter foot traffic, hotels are slashing prices, and those famous waterfront markets, they're a whole lot quieter these days. Not long ago, global travelers flooded in for selfies at the Space Needle, fresh seafood at Pike Place, and scenic hikes through emerald forests. Today, international tourism is down more than 40%, and the vibe is less world-class destination and more please come back. What triggered the drop? A perfect storm. Political controversies, immigration disputes, and viral online stories from international travelers who say they felt unwelcome. The fallout? Multiple European travel platforms slap Washington with travel caution advisories. The financial toll is massive. In 2023, global visitors brought in nearly $1.3 billion. This year, experts expect the state to lose close to $600 million in tourism revenue. That's not just a dip, it's a nosedive. Even cruise tourism, once a major strength, is unraveling. Seattle was the launchpad for Alaskan cruises, but cancellations are up 30%, and cruise lines are now steering through Canadian ports instead. Quick joke. What's more reliable than Seattle's tourist numbers? The rain. The booming tech scene hasn't helped tourists either. Soaring prices for everything from hotel rooms to ride shares to a simple sandwich have priced out many international visitors. Meanwhile, places like Austria, Norway, and Chile are snatching up that lost tourism, offering friendlier vibes and fewer political storms. Even the coffee scene. once a pilgrimage for caffeine lovers, is taking a hit. Instead of lining up at the original Starbucks, travelers are heading to cozy, Insta-famous cafes in cities like Melbourne and Copenhagen. So here's the final question. Can the state that helped define innovation reinvent its tourism industry? Or will it stay stuck, lost in the fog it once proudly owned? Hit that like button if any of this caught you off guard. Subscribe for more hard-hitting travel insights and drop a comment below. Do you believe these states can bounce back, or is this just the beginning of a bigger global shift?